Welcome to EDFD459 Learning Spaces 2017. My name is Adam Staples. I'm your lecturer in charge for this unit, and this is an introductory welcome video to obviously first of all welcome you to the unit and also to step you through the structure and the format of the Leo space so that you can begin the process of familiarizing yourself with the unit. So when you log into Leo, you will see the unit that you can see on the screen at the moment. So we've got the banner at the top that says it's EDFD459. We have an information unit module, we have a communication module, we have an assessment module, and we have a welcome module. So I'm going to take you through these very quickly, and then I'm going to show you how you can progress to the next part of the unit. So when you click on the unit information module, you will see in there that the unit outline is available for download, and I recommend that you do download it and you do read it. If there are any spelling mistakes, please let me know. If you go back to the home page, which you can do by clicking the button at the top here, we then have a communication module. And the communication module is going to be really important throughout the course of this particular unit. So there are two forums in here. There's questions and queries for Adam, which is an opportunity for you to contact me. And then there's important messages from Adam. And that is the forum that I will use to contact the unit as a whole. So if you have a query for me, please put it into the questions and queries for Adam. And if I have a message for you, I'll put it into the important messages from Adam. And it just means that we're able to have some kind of structure and balance and coherence in the unit. Click on the home button again, and our next module is going to be the assessment module. This will take you through the three assessments. So we've got assessment 1, which is a series of online activities or EDFDs. We have assessment number 2, which is developing a professional development artifact, in this case a video about learning spaces. And then our third assignment is our personal learning network, which is a blog. And we actually start that in week 2. So all this information here, you'll find rubrics, you'll find the drop boxes. Again, there might be a few spelling errors in there, and if there are, just let me know. We're all human. Okay, so that's some of the main modules on the unit. You'll notice that it's pretty sparse in terms of content going forward, and the reason why that is that experience has shown me that in the online space it's much better to have a small amount of information at the beginning of the semester, and then as you become more familiar with the unit and more confident with your skills as an online learner, we release the unit content week by week. And then when you get into the second half of the semester, it's all released in one go. So you'll notice that there's a module here called Welcome. And I'd like you, once you've had a look at the unit outline and you've had a look at assessments and everything, I'd like you to click on the Welcome module. And you will see that there is a video there. Now, the video says EDFD460 because I'm actually recording the EDFD459 video right now, and then as soon as I've done that, I'll replace the video, obviously. But this video, the intention of it is to also introduce myself and also just to, as I said, step you through to show you how the unit is structured so that you know what to do. There's nothing worse than going into an online environment and you don't know what to do. Okay, so watch through the whole video, and then you have the opportunity to sort of make that decision that you want to move on into the week 1 content. And so you'll notice at the moment up here we've got home, unit information, communication, assessment, and welcome, and we've had a look at all of those modules. When you've watched the video and you're ready to move forward, on this little box just here on the right hand side, if you click in that, now this is called a completion box, so it's for you to say when you've completed a particular activity. If you click on that, just watch what happens next to the welcome tab up here. So you'll see that another tab has appeared, and if I was to now click on that tab, it takes me to week 1, which is all about learning to learn online. So the reason why I've done that is this sort of process of self-managing the content. So when you're ready to move on, you can click in the next box, and it may be that a module opens, or it may be that you have access to another activity, whatever it may be. So learning to learn online is our first our first topic, and it's really about familiarizing ourselves and yourself with what it is to be an online learner. Some of you are new to the online space, and this is a really good opportunity for you to take it slowly and calmly to actually realize that online learning can be a really enriching experience. And for those of you who have already had some experience in the online environment, and certainly in one of my units, this is your opportunity, A, to revisit that content, because we always learn something new, and also you now have a new role. You're now a mentor yourself, so you have experience in that online space, and you can offer mentorship and support to the new online learners. But I'll just take you through this particular module, because this is the way each module is going to be structured for the whole semester. So you'll have a title at the top, depending on whatever our focus is for that week. You'll then have some form of introduction, and then you'll just have some steps that guide you through a recommended way through that particular module. And it will be really simple as read the week one content, or make sure you've checked the forums, whatever it may be. And this is to give you some kind of idea of how you can progress through, so you're not floundering in the dark and thinking, what am I meant to be doing? This actually gives you that structure, and this will appear every single week. We then have the readings, and the readings are all accessible online, so the links are being provided for you. You'll notice they're called Core Text 1A, Core Text 1B, etc. So week 1 will be Core Text 1, week 2 will be Core Text 2, so on and so forth. And that's so that you know where you are in the unit. Again, we have the checkboxes down the side, so you can actually click in that to say, remind yourself that you have read it. And obviously if it's unchecked, it's reminding you that you still need to read it. And that will also come into play with the e-activities as well. So you get an e-activity grade based on the activities that you've completed, and the way that we know that you've completed them is by ticking those boxes. But I explain that more in week 1. Then in each week we'll have the resources, and the resources correlate with the activities that you need to be doing that particular week. So you're really encouraged to not just jump into the resources and think, what am I expected to do? If you actually spend a bit of time reading through the weekly content, you'll be told what to do with them. So just take things very calmly. We will then have discussion forums. Some weeks there may be 1, some weeks there may be 3, some weeks there may be 4. And these are a really important part of online learning. It's about collaboration and group learning. On alternate weeks, we'll have an ACS, or an Adobe Connect session, which is a virtual online sort of meeting. You can either be there in person on the night, and that's called a synchronous connection. Each session will be recorded, so if you can't be there when they're scheduled, you can pick the recording up asynchronously. And those are all detailed in the unit outline in the schedule. And then on most weeks, we'll have an e-activity. So an e-activity is part of assessment number 1, and each e-activity is worth 2%, and so they come together. You have 10 of them, so they come together as 20% of the unit, and they are, a bona fide assessment task. So, they need to be taken seriously. They need to be done on a timely fashion. But again, I talked to you about that in more detail in week 1. So each week we'll have a short introduction, some guiding steps, your readings, your resources, your discussion forums, Adobe Connect session if there's one scheduled, and in most cases an e-activity. So the purpose of that is that when you go into, say, week number 2, you'll be familiar with the structure and where to look for information. So it's a really important part of online learning, is how do I find the information, where is it? So I hope you find that useful. Jump in with both feet. There are lots of people to help. There's myself, as LIC, Kaylee Shanahan, who is an online tutor, and she comes with a wealth of experience in the online environment. And she was a few years ago a student in this unit, so she knows the unit like the back of her hand. If you're a new online learner, you have got experienced online learners in the unit who are here to help. And the most important thing is to understand that this is a safe, non-competitive environment. There are obviously rules and regulations that need to be adhered to. So, we're polite to each other, we're respectful to each other, we write properly. There's no text speak, there's no Facebook speak. This is an educational space, but it's also non-competitive. So I'm not here. I haven't designed a unit where you're up against each other. We want to develop our community of practice and really learn together. And that is the beauty, that's the real advantage of online learning. If you have any questions, remember, click onto the communication tab and post a message into the questions and queries for Adam forum. It's a bit nerve-wracking sometimes to make the first post, but you'll soon find that actually that particular sort of function, the communication forums, are really, really important for the unit. So welcome to EDFD459, and I look forward to working with you and Kerry over the coming 12 weeks.